Welcome back to another episode of my top issues, but this time with the Infinix Zero X Pro. To all the subscribers, welcome back and thanks for stopping by once again. And if you're new here, I make tech videos of all kinds, so feel free to drop a sub to get notified of new content. Take note, these are my top issues. My issues don't have to be yours, so go easy in the comment section. But before we get into it, here's a short message from the sponsor of this video. CityKey Offers specializes in delivering cheap and legitimate software and game codes. If you ever need a Windows 10 Pro key, you can buy one at a very cheap price. To do so, just visit cdkeyoffers.com. Search for Windows 10 and choose a suitable copy for you, but in my case, I always go for a professional copy. Before making a payment, make sure to type in the RC20 code for an exclusive 20% off discount. After that, you can choose your preferred payment method. You will receive the code via an email that redirects you to the website of CityKey Offers, and from there you can get your Windows 10 key. Since my Windows copy is already activated, I can just simply change my product key to the new one that I just bought. CityKey Offers provides permanently valid keys with 30 days of return and exchange period. You can check out more deals in the video description below. The first issue that I have with this phone is also the biggest one, which is the software quality. Infinix XOS is the brand's own version of Android. It's relatively simple in design and borrows most of its aesthetics from stock Android, but its built-in setting needs some organization as most of the features are all over the place. Okay, maybe some of you aren't bothered by it that much, but what about the other aspects of the OS? Well, starting with the apps on first boot, there's a ton of bloatware here, including first-party apps most people likely won't use. A few of them are uninstallable, but most of them are not, leaving you with the option to only disable them. XOS also has limited customization when it comes to their home screen. You can select multiple icons and cluster them into folders, but instead you need to follow the auto-arrange feature of the default launcher, kinda like how Apple organizes its app library. XOS also lacks optimization across the board, as gestures as simple as going home or swiping down requires 2 or 3 tries most of the time, and transition animations process at 60Hz instead of 120, which basically breaks the fluidity of the software. Fortunately, most of the software quality issues are fixable by installing a third-party launcher. I tried using Nova Launcher on the Zero X Pro, and the smoothness is just a lot better. It really takes advantage of the chipset's power and the display's fast refresh. However, it seems that the accuracy of gestures requires a software patch from the developers. The second issue I have with the Zero X Pro is the display. On paper, the phone is using a 6.67-inch Full HD AMOLED display, even capable of up to 700 nits brightness. While I love how the colors look on the phone, I just can't help but notice how smudgy and 720p-ish the display looks. For a 1080p display phone, this one looks a lot like 720p to me. Perhaps that's the reason why this phone isn't capable of playing back HD videos on Netflix, which is another issue I have with the display. Watching my Netflix list isn't just enjoyable on the screen when the images look blurry and low quality. Unfortunately, I don't think this one is fixable through a software update. The third issue I'm facing with the Zero X Pro is the camera. I know, it's weird to have this complaint when the camera is the main selling point of the phone. But like what most tech reviewers preach on YouTube, numbers aren't everything. The Zero X Pro is using 3 cameras in the back, one of which is a 108 megapixel sensor with OIS, the second one is ultra-wide, while the third one is an 8 megapixel periscope telephoto camera, capable of 5x optical zoom and with OIS as well. In my review, I praised the telephoto camera despite the haze and soft textures it produces. But for the rest of the camera, they are just mediocre. Most of the photos are just fine when you view them from a small screen, but once you blow them up on a bigger screen like a laptop or monitor, it's not hard to notice the flaws of the camera and software processing. I mean, the photos look over-sharpened yet smudgy, colors are bland, and the dynamic range is very limited. The photos basically look like they came from a cheap phone, not from a 108 megapixel camera. The video is even worse. The quality looks cheap, there's almost no stabilization, and the phone struggles to record at 60 frames with videos looking like 30 frames after the fact. I don't use my phone's camera that much. It's why I said my biggest problem with the Zero X Pro is the software, but for those who prioritize cameras, you might be disappointed with this one. My last issue here is the in-display fingerprint scanner. Infinix probably wanted to separate itself in some ways, which meant putting an in-display scanner instead of a conventional one on the power button. Well, I don't think it worked out for them. This one is slow, inconsistent, and overall frustrating. And if you opt for face unlock, which is not as secure as fingerprint, the phone would prompt you from time to time to enter a PIN code instead for some reason. Well, that's about it for the Infinix Zero X Pro. If somehow you just want a design of the Zero X Pro, by all means. But these are the top issues I encountered and they are not to take lightly. That's about it for this one. Drop a sub or like if you feel supporting the channel, and until the next one, stay safe.